students. Today we are at the fourth part of D block elements and we are going to discuss some important questions related to potassium dichromate and potassium permanganate. So let us take the first question. During the preparation of dichromates from chromite ore, the ore is fused with sodium carbonate in the presence of air. What is the color of the resulting filtrate and what is the chemical species responsible for it? So, during the reaction, this chromite ore is treated with sodium carbonate and oxygen, right? You have written this reaction multiple times in your PU exams also. So, the product is sodium chromate, right? Na2CrO4 and it is yellow in color. Okay. Next. Which of the following statements regarding the interconversion of chromate and dichromate ions is structurally and chemically correct? Okay. So here when you take these chromate and dichromate ions, these are interconvertible depending on the pH of the solution. Okay, so CrO4 2 minus, this is chromate, Cr2O7 2 minus is dichromate. So now this conversion from chromate to dichromate is in presence of acid and the reverse one is in presence of base. Okay, that means if the solution is highly acidic, this forward reaction, if it is highly alkaline, reverse reaction will happen. Okay, and you know that both the ions here, chromate and dichromate, they have tetrahedral units. Okay, that is about their structure. So let us see the statements now. The interconversion is a redox reaction dependent on the pH. See, dependent on the pH is correct, but if it has to be redox, the oxidation state must change, right? But here both are having +6 oxidation state. Chromium in both the species is in +6 state, so it is not a redox reaction. Okay, so take the second one. In highly alkaline solution, orange dichromate, this one, orange dichromate is converted into yellow tetrahedral chromate ion. Yes, that is correct. Okay, then dichromate ion consists of two independent unlinked tetrahedra. No, it is linked, right? In chromate, in dichromate, you will have it like this. So two chromium atoms are linked by one oxygen and remaining oxygens are here, O minus, O minus, and remaining ones are with double bonds. Okay, so each is making a tetrahedral unit and they are linked, right? So that is not correct. Then the interconversion changes the oxidation state from +6 to +7. No, it remains the same. Yes, next. In an acidic medium, 1 mole of dichromate ion completely oxidizes a sample containing H2S. How many moles of sulfur are precipitated and how many moles of electrons are transferred by the dichromate ion? So this is an interesting question and this is related to redox reactions as well. So see, we are taking acidic medium, so we have dichromate ion. So in acid medium that will get converted into Cr3 plus ions, right? Here it is in +6. So here +3. So here you have two chromium atoms. So I'll write 2 Cr3 plus. Okay. So +6 to +3. The change is 3, but you have total here 2 chromium atoms. So what happens? 2 into 3, that is the change will be 6. Okay. That means here 6 electrons are involved. Fine. It is the transfer of 6 electrons. So here it is actually what +6 to +3 means reduction process. Okay, so gain of 6 electrons will happen. Next, if you take H2S, So this dichromate oxidizes sulfur in -2 state to elemental sulfur, that is in zero oxidation state. Okay, so see here sulfur is balanced, right? So here if you look at this process, you have two electrons involvement. Okay, but you know, during the addition of redox reactions, that is oxidation and reduction process, the number of electrons should be equal. So what do we do here? To this one we multiply by 3, right? Or it is like you are multiplying this by 2 and this by 6 actually, then the common factor, if you just cancel it, 3 will remain. So after multiplying by 3 you get 3H2S. Here you get 6 electrons now and 3 sulfur. Okay, so now what is asked here? 1 mole of dichromate you are taking. So here it is 1 mole itself in the equation. Okay, so when you take 1 mole, how many moles of sulfur you got? 3 moles, right? So it is 3 moles of sulfur. That means these two you can remove first. Okay, then how many moles of electrons are transferred here? 6 moles of electrons, right? It is 6 electrons, means when you take 1 mole of this, it will be 6 moles of electrons. So 3 moles of sulfur and 6 moles of electrons are transferred. Okay, so you can do these questions simply by taking redox equations and by balancing them. Okay, balancing the charge and also the atoms. Yes, next. Which specific structural parameters define the dichromate ion? So just before I had shown you the dichromate structure, right? So there will be two tetrahedral units, okay, sharing one corner, right? So it's two tetrahedral, so it's not a single, here it is given octahedral also, it is not true, right? And two tetrahedral sharing two corners is not correct, it is only one corner. Okay, now in between you have that CR-OCR bond and the angle is 126 degree. Okay, so this is correct statement here. Next, during the commercial preparation of potassium permanganate from MnO2, what are the specific chemical steps and the corresponding changes in the oxidation state of manganese? See, you are starting from the ore MnO2, in which manganese is in +4 oxidation state, right? So here you have +4 oxidation state for manganese. Now we have to see that will get converted into what, right? So you know, during the process, here it is asked about the commercial preparation. So in commercial preparation we do alkaline oxidative fusion. That means you add alkali like KOH and also you oxidize the solution so that you convert this into K2MnO4 first, where this manganese is in +6 oxidation state, right? Then you are doing the electrolytic oxidation. Here it is electrolytic oxidation in the final step, so that you will get KMnO4, wherein this manganese is in +7 state. Okay, so this is the right answer here. See, actually peroxo disulfate we use, but this is a laboratory method. Okay, so this is not commercial preparation. Then option C, if you take fusion with KOH and then acidic disproportionation is one more method. Okay, but usually commercial preparation will not take this disproportionation reaction. It will prefer electrolytic oxidation so that you will get single product, that is KMnO4. Okay, so next one. Which of the following statements correctly differentiates the structural and magnetic properties of manganate and permanganate ions? So manganate is MnO4 2 minus and permanganate is MnO4 minus, right? So here we need to check for their structure, that is here both are tetrahedral, okay? Mn you have and then 4 oxygens, here 2 are having minus, so 2 more with double bond. In this case Mn you have 4 oxygens, 1 with minus and 3 more having double bonds like this. Okay, so both are tetrahedral. Then if you consider this is in +6 state, this is in +7 state. So you know that manganese is 3d5 4s2, right? So +6 state means you will have 3d1, but +7 state means no electrons here, 0 electrons, correct? So here due to 1 electron this becomes paramagnetic, and here we don't have any unpaired electrons, so this becomes diamagnetic. So here both are tetrahedral. Manganate has 1 unpaired electron while permanganate has 0 unpaired electrons. Okay, next. When solid potassium permanganate is heated to 513 Kelvin, it decomposes. What are the products of this thermal decomposition? So potassium permanganate on decomposition gives these 3 products. One is manganate, another MnO2 and then oxygen. Okay. Next. What is the equivalent weight of potassium permanganate when it acts as an oxidizing agent in neutral or faintly alkaline medium? So molar mass is taken as m. Okay. So you know that to find out the equivalent weight of any species undergoing a redox change, so we take molar mass divided by change in oxidation number, right? So change we have to take, that means for example if it is changing from +6 to +3, the change is 3, so that change we have to take. So here when you take permanganate KMnO4, we know this MnO4 minus, which is in +7 state, gets converted to +2 in acidic medium. Okay, so here the change is 5. If you consider highly alkaline medium, then it will go from +7 to MnO4 2 minus, that is +6. This is in basic. That means the change is 1 here. Then MnO4 minus will change to MnO2 in neutral or faintly alkaline medium. That means +7 to +4. So the change is 3. Okay. So it will become what? Molecular mass divided by 3. Okay. So this is the answer. And you know there is a shortcut to remember this 5, 1 and 3. So that is BAN 153 or BAN 153. What's the meaning? KMnO4 in basic medium change is 1, acidic change is 5 and neutral change is 3. Okay, so that's a good trick. Do remember. Yes, next. Ninth one. In the presence of dilute sulfuric acid, potassium permanganate acts as a strong oxidizing agent. Which of the following conversions is not performed by acidified KMnO4? See, when acidified KMnO4, that is, it changes from MnO4 minus to Mn2 plus in acidic medium. This changes to CO2, that is correct. Fe2 plus to Fe3 plus is correct. S2 minus is precipitated to sulfur. But this one, I minus changes to I2 in acid medium. Okay. IO3 minus is in neutral or faintly alkaline medium. Okay. So this conversion won't happen in acid medium. Next, consider the reduction half reactions for permanganate from a purely thermodynamic standpoint, that is using the redox potential. Acidified permanganate E naught value is given should oxidize water to oxygen. Why is this reaction extremely slow in practice? See, actually, when you have higher potential, okay, for this, water to oxygen, that will be 1.23 volt. Okay, so this being higher, this has to oxidize water to oxygen. Okay, so thermodynamically it is possible. Fine, but why it is not happening? That is due to kinetic reason. Okay, always it is about that activation energy. So the activation energy will be high, and hence the reaction will be extremely slow. So it is the kinetic barrier for the reaction is very high. Next, in the laboratory preparation of permanganate, a manganese salt, that is manganese 2 salt, is oxidized by which of the following reagents? So just before we discuss this, I told you in laboratory method we are using this peroxo disulfate, that is S2O8 2 minus. Okay, I hope it is clear. So that's all for today, students. Please support the channel by hitting like, sharing this around, and subscribing with notifications on. Thank you.